All right, welcome to an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. I'm your host, Norman Kinsey. We have our co-host, Mr. Dan Gandy. Welcome, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm liking the stash, bro. Changing it up, huh?
Trying to change it up a little bit.
I like that. I like that. I was actually looking at some of our old episodes. So I was like, man, we go through a lot of different changes. So before we intro who our guest is today, I want to just go ahead and encourage everyone to like the episode, subscribe, and by the time you get to the end of the episode, comment below with what you learned from the show so that way you can apply this information to your business. Today we have someone, she's awesome. She's an icon real estate agent with EXP. She's crushing it on her Instagram. I'm sure you can get tips from her from the videos and the reels and things that she's doing, over 20,000 plus followers. And she is the original geek at the Property Geeks. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course. I got to say, first off, a little off script here, but the videos, how did you just start? Did you just find funny stuff to do, or you just said, I'm doing this, or?
I guess I've always liked to make people laugh. I was like an elementary to middle school theater kid. I was in dance. I'm kind of the natural. I want to entertain. I want to make people, if that's the detriment of my own pride and that have you, whatever. But yeah, I guess that's kind of where it stems from, is just wanting to make people laugh and just smile. So cool. Finding funny videos and stuff like that seemed to work.
That's working. Yeah. I always, before Dan and I go on air, I'm like, all right, let's go. I send them a link. I'm like, check this person out. So we love this opportunity to meet just amazing people. So let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about, where you started to why real estate? How did you get where you're at today?
Yeah. So, wasn't planning on real estate. Wasn't definitely a dream of mine from when I was always wanted to be a real estate. I guess real estate was always fascinating. But I actually had a marketing degree like everybody else in the millennial generation. And so, I was in the service industry, and I really liked that because, again, kind of helping people smile and all those things. Right. And so, I had this marketing degree I just kind of sitting on, and I got kind of sick of the service industry, got a little bitter. And I'm like, all right, I need to do something, get a big girl job or something. I don't know. And so I found a job as a marketing consultant for realtors, just kind of at an office right down my street, found on Craigslist, walked in, got hired on the spot. I was like sick. And I did that for a while. And then finally I told the broker, I'm like, hey, the average age was a lot older than I was, and they weren't into social media or anything. And that's where I was really pushing for marketing. So I basically tried to get myself fired. So I'm like, you're paying me for nothing. And instead he looked at me, he's like, you should get your real estate license. And I was like, shoot, okay, I'll try that. And that's really how I got licensed, was like, well, let's do it.
Wow. That's awesome. I think for a lot of viewers and listeners out there, they don't know this. The average age today was 57. Now it's going down to 53 or 54 average actual real estate professional. And then the average buyer's around 34 years of age. And I see so many people, and we're getting more and more guests that are having the same light that you're shining. It's hey, there's a huge opportunity here. They're just not online. They're not taking advantage of social. And obviously it works. And you're a prime example. So give her a follow, links down below. So I love that. So how'd you get to EXP? Now you're this icon agent, so you built the team. And if anyone doesn't know, what does it take to even be an icon agent?
So we actually started the team. It's me and two other women. So we started the team at our old brokerage, or former brokerage. And we just wanted to kind of set a certain kind of culture. And so we started that team, and we're doing that for a few years when we came across EXP's model. And it just kind of seemed to fit our team model better than what we were at previously. And so that's when we kind of started digging deeper into it. For me, I was definitely production driven. I'm the agent development manager. So I help all the agents as far as training goes and all that stuff, but I'm still high in production. So as an icon agent, you hit that cap with EXP, and then you do 20 more deals and you get to that, award or whatever. And it's a really cool thing just to be able to show. I guess for me, I love being able to show the agents on my team that are newer or that are younger or that are just as a second career, whatever it is, that you can do it. if I can do this as well as help you and as well as be a single mom and as well as do this and, you know, anything else, like you can too. So I guess hitting that award means like, it's just kind of showing them like, hey,
It's possible.
you can do it. You know what I mean? So it's not this like crazy thing that's so high up that you could never hit or anything like that.
I love that. I was actually an event. It was Grow with Video Live, and so like Gary Vee was there, and Alex Mosey was there, and his wife was there. And Alex said, he said, I can't stand when people are trying to educate other people. They have no fucking idea even what they're doing. So I like that you already are icon agent. You've led by example. And so now you could say, hey, this is what I've done, best practices, techniques. So, you know, if I could do it, then obviously you could do it because I have
the experience.
Yeah. I like having the insight of this market. You know what I mean? Like it so often, whether, you know, at other trainings and things like that, you just kind of sit back and realize this person probably hasn't sold a house in like 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, which they have great knowledge, and I'm not dissing anyone that does that. But for me, like I love being able to train my agents in real time and knowing the market and kind of feeling their pain in this market as well. I think gives me the opportunity to help them in a different way.
I wanted to ping on that because there's a lot of people who think you need to get in, do a few deals, and then like you need to hire or pay a coach. And I think sometimes it's the opposite. You need to go work for a team leader who's doing it, who can be a mentor and build yourself up in that ecosystem and swallow your pride for a few years. Because I'm seeing a lot of people who I originally talked to, and then now they're like circling back, like, oh, so I went and talked to a coach and I failed and I've only done any like 2 deals ever. And now I want to be on your team. And I'm like, wait, we had this discussion like 2.5 years ago. Yeah. So I definitely see where that experience and then how you work with the ease, the onboarding and the training, that is so critical because people want to work with people they can trust and also look up to. So keep it up.
I love that. So last question for me before I go to the mix up round and go more into the tech with Dan. Is like when you have these videos and I'm looking at these videos here and the Instagram's behind me and encouraging y'all to follow again, as far as like, so what do you like? Is it an inspiration? Are you batching content? Are you just going through trends and just remaking them? Like, you know, just give us a little bit of like the secret sauce. So someone's listening right now and go to your Instagram. They're like, all right, let's go check out Hannah and see what she's about. They see all these videos. Like, what was that thing? Or was there a thing? Or is it just like you're flowing and you're like, all right, this is the video or the second, or how does that work?
Yeah. So it's kind of organized chaos. Definitely, like I've had people ask me like, okay, so like, what's the science behind it? And I don't have a science, but I kind of do at the same time. For me, I guess most of my stuff, I want to be like, not myself be relatable necessarily, but make relatable content. Because I feel like a lot of people connect with that, whether it's another realtor that's connecting with me of, you know, something that like just kind of sucks or like that happens in their industry, or it's something that maybe a client is going through, or maybe they can learn from in a funny way, right? Like they can kind of laugh at something that's maybe a little bit more ridiculous or, you know, stretched, just for them to kind of understand it, to really, you know, kind of hammer it in. So most of my reels at least are going to be like the trending audio trend of some sort. And then I try to spin it into, of course, real estate, but also like maybe something that I can teach through my caption. And so like, that's how I normally do it is I get the eye catching, the funny vibe, you know, the instant like hook, you know, in my video. And then I use my caption to really understand what I was like trying to say or what I was trying to, you know, make apparent. And then of course I do other, you know, picture posts and things like that once in a while. For me, I want people to go to my grid when they see like my profile, right? And in the first, you know, that 6 to 9 squares where before you even have to scroll or anything, like to really describe who I am and what I am. And a lot of it's real estate, obviously, but then I'll have my daughter in there or, you know, something that I like to do. And so I really want my profile to really just kind of have a good intention of like who I am. And some of it I think is super funny, and I'm sure people are like, that's really dumb, but that's the story of my life. So I always laugh at my own jokes, and whether anybody else enjoys it, whatever, but I enjoy making them. I do not batch. I make them on the spot, or what I do is I normally find trends that I really like, or like I just go through and I'm like watching, right? And my brain has just developed into this like relating to real estate all the time. And I've always been kind of more of a wordsmith of someone that can describe it in a better way. And so I take that and I just do it and I save the ones I really like. And within a couple of days of me finding it, I make a point to make that reel, the trending stuff, right? so much trending for so long. And I just kind of make it.
Well, with videos with over 1.8 million views, you must be doing something right. So congratulations to that. And I have to say that like it shows, and I could say like, next level, and this is all love here. So if you're watching, no disrespect, broke agent, but the next level to the broke agent, because you're showing your face and your personality and who you are, and not hiding behind something else other than you being your true authentic self. And like, it shows. Like, it's amazing to see that you're getting like 1.8 million views off of 20,000 followers, which is a prime example for anyone who's listening out there. It doesn't matter how many people follow you to get millions of views. It just, the trends and saying what you want to say, or saying what someone else said and did a good job, and saying it even better, or saying it a little bit different for people to connect with it in your language, because maybe it was different received from the other person. So I love that. So hats off. Congratulations on all that. Mix up around, give it to Dan Gandy. Talk a little bit more about the tech stuff that you're using, helping grow your business, so on and so forth, and take it away, Dan.
Cool. Thank you, Norman. So in terms of getting to that production success, outside of just social media, like, are there any tools, technology, things that have got you to where you are today?
I think we've gone back and forth, especially when we changed brokerages and things like that. We obviously changed up a lot of our tech, going to EXP, which is very tech heavy. We had to implement a lot of things that we hadn't had before. I think really importantly is whatever tech I'm using, that's what they always say, right? Whichever CRM you're going to use is the one that's the right one for you. But for me, no matter what tech I'm using, my entire goal with technology is to get people off technology in person, right? My social media is meant to, if someone messages me about buying, I'm not going to talk to them for 6 months on social media. I'm going to meet with them. I'm going to get them offline. And if they're offline, I want to get them online so they can see me and they can be relatable to me, right? And so whether I meet them in person, I'm going to add them to my CRM. We have KV Core through EXP, right? So I add them to my CRM. If I meet them through a lead on CRM, I'm going to get in front of them in person as soon as I possibly can. And I think that part is kind of missed or skipped, and people want to stay behind the tech and they want to stay behind social media. And if your social media, especially social media, but if your social media is not a depiction of who you actually are in person when people meet you or people interact with you, you're going to fail, because you can only get so far in front of social media or behind tech, right? If you're in front of someone and they aren't connecting with that personality that they thought you had or they thought you acted like on social, it's a total bust. Even if it's not like you're not bad, you're not like totally boring, but if it's totally not your voice and it's not kind of how you portrayed yourself, you're not going to get that connection, and the person's just going to go to the next person. And so I think technology, I use honestly pretty basic stuff. My CRM, my KV Core, for all my leads and all that kind of stuff, and even like agents and things like that. But I'm also a spreadsheet gal. So I love me a souped up spreadsheet. So I have a few of those. I have my business tracker in front of me every single day, just to keep top of mind of exactly what's going on and my goals and all that. And I think I'm very, it's like my phone here. I can read all my notifications. My phone screensaver is my goals. So I made off Canva, and then like I have like empty houses and I just X them off. So I feel like technology for me is just keeping everything right in front of me, regardless of really what it is.
Wow.
Awesome. So the next question really is like, is there any traditional marketing that you're still doing, like direct mail farming, cold calling, anything that is, more of that archaic way of generating business?
Not really, no. I do.
Right.
I guess for me, I'm very referral heavy. It was like 87% of my business last year was between social and referral, which I think are kind of hand in hand. And so for me, I don't farm. I've been kind of moving around, single mom. I moved around quite a bit, but now I bought a house last year. So now we're kind of stationary, but I never like farmed like a geographical area. I've always been referral based. I do send out like quarterly. I do more stuff like, I'm trying to see if I have an example of it, like farmer market calendars and things like that.
Yeah.
That have more shelf life, I would say. And then I'm very, I love doing like cutesy, like pop by gifts for my referrals and like my top clients and things like that. So I do at least quarterly. those types of things. So like we do this as a team for Halloween. We do like free pumpkins, and then like we do a pumpkin carving contest, again, online, offline. This last St. Patrick's Day, I sent out like lotto tickets and like just things like that. So I really use traditional marketing to love on my sphere versus getting like those cold leads or like brand new people that I don't know or get in front of. Those are the ones I actually find on social, or more so that. But yeah, that's really what I mostly focus on. And then everything else is social media, I should say.
Yeah. No, it's just another prime example guest that, is nurturing their sphere using some traditional things, but the prospect sitting in, calling 300 people and getting one email address, and it's just not the way of doing things. And I think that you can reach way more people. And I think that my last question really from all of this is that, what are you doing to keep up on your social expertise? Like, are you taking classes or going to masterminds, or is it just all like test A/B? Let's go.
I think I'm pretty self-taught for the most part. Obviously following certain creators and keeping up with like, because at the end of the day, Instagram's a company, right? And Facebook, YouTube, all of them, they're companies. They want their stuff in front of you, and they want more users using their product, right? That's all it is. So I listen to what Instagram says. I follow like the Instagram creator account or whatever. I follow other creators on there that are very heavily kind of in cahoots with Instagram, right? To kind of hear that. I really am just more aware when I'm watching things or when I'm seeing what Instagram's pushing out in front of people. That's, like Reels, right?
Yeah.
When you look at your Discover or when you're just kind of scrolling, what do you see? It's mostly video, it's Reels, it's this and that. And so clearly they're pushing that. It's honestly pretty basic if you really step back and just kind of look at it big picture. People can get so sucked into this like algorithm or this idea that like you have to be just this perfect kind of setup in order to really expand or grow on Instagram. And it's really not. Yeah. It's not, like you can make it really complex. And sure, you could probably go way higher than 20,000 followers. That's totally fine. But mine are all organic from just doing what I'm seeing is getting done. And then, of course, like I'll go to masterminds once in a while, but it's really not where I'm getting most of my stuff. Honestly, it's just kind of like being aware and watching things.
No, it's I used to try to use the Nike saying, just do it. Because if you don't actually do it, right, you're never going to have success in it. And even my own testing, like some reels, some videos, some content fails. Others, you reach a capacity or a limit of likes, but ultimately, it's that overall putting your best foot forward and doing it. So I think there's a lot to say about what you're doing. I just scrolled through your entire feed. Like you've progressed from your very first few posts all the way to now. Like it's just a night and day difference. So I think more real estate agents should use your account to look for insightful strategy and you can go a long way. It's
all free.
Yeah.
It's free. I mean, that's where social started for me. I was a single mom, didn't have like, people were like, just do postcards. I'm like, that's hundreds of dollars. I literally didn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, invest in yourself. I don't, okay. Like I could do that. That's awesome. But like with literal what, and so for social media, it honestly was because it was free and I could put myself out there as much as I possibly could and wanted to without a cent out of my pocket. And if you ever hear of free networking events, you can go for free. You know what I mean? Like go, it's just your time that you're putting into it. And so I think that was a huge part for me was like social media. It's literally just get over yourself, get over yourself. You're not that cool. Just get on there and do it. And your tribe, the people that like you, the people that are going to, vibe with you, those are the people that are going to follow you. And it's all for free. Like,
I love it. Well, that's all folks for me. I like meeting another fellow EXP agent that is a good example to show people like what to do. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan, for taking that mix up round. And I have to just say to like kind of sum it up, you hit the nail on the head, Hannah. It's like you don't need to spend a lot of money to invest in yourself. You could just use the platforms that are free out there, get over yourself and just do it and find your tribe, which you've done. And like Dan said, starting off kind of simple, not a whole lot of followers, not a whole lot of views. And then now you're at a point where I'm sure people are looking for your content, or if you don't post something, they're probably like, Hannah, where's your post? Like, where have you? I'm on vacation. Like, give me it. Like,
leave me alone.
Now, turning into a celebrity. It's like almost like now it's expected. Do you get that?
I definitely get like I'm on my story every day, and that's a huge part of like my, just kind of function on there.
Yeah.
So people know what I'm doing daily, but definitely like if I don't post a reel, I'll get like hey, are you still doing reels? Like, yeah, man. Yes. I'm still doing them. So yeah, once in a while it'll be funny. Or if I don't, I'll reset my story, which basically means you don't post for 24 hours. And do that maybe every couple months. And there will be a couple people like, is everything okay? You doing okay? I'm like, yep, I'm doing just fine.
Now hit the reset button, because it's interesting, because people don't understand who's watching out there or listening right now. It's like you'll form a habit, after 30, 60, 90 days, it's a habit. And then like when that habit stops, like you don't post and someone gets thrown off and they're like, whoa, what's going on here? Is everything? And like that happens in the YouTube world. There's a lot of big YouTubers that if they take off time, then it's just like, where are you at? What's going on? We haven't seen a video in a week. And then there's other YouTubers that do like the news.
Too much.
Like, yeah. And then it's just like this huge thing. So it's an interesting on the psychology forefront. I like how you say, like, you like to get people online and offline, so you can have like kind of like that mix, because I think that like the online stuff's great, but sometimes it's like, you don't want just trolls and people that are just like, just follow you. Like you want to inspire them, enlighten them. Hey, you can buy a house too. If you're just following me, like even if you're following this podcast, or now you're going to follow Hannah. So a couple last questions I have before we open up the floor to you to like, leave it open for you to just leave anything for our viewers and listeners to take from today's episode. So the Property Geeks, I have the website here. I'm checking it out. You have the sunglasses with the raised eyebrow. Like, what was that inspiration behind it? Where'd you come up with the name, inspiration, the logo? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that kind of transpired into itself pretty naturally, honestly. So we had, like I said, we were in a huge office of other agents, and we just kind of, me, Karn, and Sarah, we consider ourselves the original geeks, the OGs, right? And so we kind of shoved ourselves in this little office, and just started kind of working all together. And we realized like we could really it was really about, if we were able to pool our money together, we could buy and pay for so many more things than as an individual agent ever could.
Yeah.
And that's still kind of how we run our team. Like we run our team very much like our agents on our team are more of a partnership than they are like a hierarchy, right? Like, oh, we're the leader and you have to listen to us. Like, no, it's like everyone brings something cool to the table, whether it's their second career or like whatever it is. Like everyone has skill, it might not be what they think is for real estate, but a lot of skill sets can translate into real estate. And so for us, it's like, okay, we're all a bunch of agents that want to pool our money together and get better resources and things together than trying to do it all in one, right? So that's what really started doing. As far as like the geek part, I think Karn would usually say it the most, but we'd always say, oh my God, we're geeking out. Like, oh my God, I'm geeking out about this, right? And it's just kind of like the saying we used to use. So when we were talking about starting a name, you've got 3 women in a room. Let's get real. Like it took days. Of like figuring out what we wanted for a team name. And we knew none of us are the ones where we want our names on a billboard, right? Or anything like that.
Yeah.
No. And hannahsmith, really, there's like literally a billion of us out there. No one would ever know. But like Karn Pancook has a very unique name. And she really is the one financially that really is the reason our team exists. She was 20 years in the business, all these types of things. She was kind of my unofficial mentor when I started. Wow. And she, we would go back and forth like, oh, I'm geeking out about this and blah, 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 blah. And so we were talking about the name and things like that. And like, oh, house geeks and all these things, and thinking this, and it was the Property Brothers were popular then. So like, I really like the word property, blah, 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 blah. And it just came out. Like, I don't even know who said it. It was just like the Property Geeks. And then it was one of those ones kind of like when you're naming your dog, like you say it in every possible, like Property Geeks, like if you're mad at them, and then if you're like happy, you're like the Property Geeks or the Property Geeks. Like, it was like, we spent days just like, we'd be working all in the office and be like the Property Geeks. Huh, okay. And then like we'd go on, and just say it over and over. And then with the glasses, Geeks glasses, we kind of thought of that. And then when we were getting our logo made, we thought of the eyebrows because it's kind of like negotiation side of real estate, and kind of the more like you have to be a little bit more thoughtful. Like You do like the little eyebrow thing, right? Like just a little thing. So that's like, we just had that added as like a cute little design, on there, just to kind of more so like that clever side of our brand more than anything.
That's cool. You could actually do like a Halloween costume, or you can get glasses that have maybe eyebrows kind of like attached to it.
Like attached, yeah.
And they could be wearing them, and it could be like a whole thing. So I have a really interesting question, and this is coming from the perspective of like, say, EXP owners, team owners, broker owners. So anyone that's watching or listening right now, I was at this event last week in Vegas, and one of the guys I was talking to, he's like, I got 50 agents. I'm with EXP, and like less than half are filming videos or doing content. And he's leading by example, like you're leading by example. Even Phil gets a whole video media day set up. I'm going to bring a photographer, a videographer. We're going to have some fun. We're going to film content. It's going to be a content media day, right? Less than half the agents show up. So you're leading by example. You got your team here, and you're all doing your thing. Like, how do you get your agents to do videos? Is it still an issue or a problem trying to get them to just hit record and start filming and start to build their own networks as well? And how do you handle that?
Yeah, it's like pulling teeth for sure. With some of them, I mean, we have some team members that are doing really, really well with their reels and things like that. And they're, every single time they get a little bit better here and there, and I try to do some training on it specifically. We have kind of like 2 training programs for our team. We have the Geeks University, which is kind of like for our newer agents, all the kind of basics it's like an 8-week program we just do over and over again. And then we have the Geeks Elite, which is, we're so branded, I'm sorry. The Geeks Elite, which is more so like our seasoned agents or agents that are kind of going to that next level. Nice. And we do a lot of social media training with that. I think it really is, no matter how many, agents you have or whatever have you, or no matter how much example we give them, like they have to get over themselves. Yes. Right? Like they have to get past that, like, feeling of embarrassment or feeling like their sphere isn't going to like them anymore because they posted a damn 3-second video, right? Like, okay. And I think part of it is, and I think the hardest struggle, which I completely understand, is you have to find yourself. You have to know you as your brand, regardless if you have a team brand or not. You are your brand, right? Like I say it all the time, you are your brand. And if you don't truly know who you are, or you don't know what truly represents you, that is hard, because how are you supposed to portray yourself on social media if you actually don't know who you are? And I think that's part of that self-awareness and kind of that self-reflection that a lot of people kind of almost shy away from and they don't know. And they're grown adults, so they don't want to admit that they don't necessarily know who they are. And I completely understand that, because if you don't have a good insight of like how other people see you, and I think that's where I tell my agents to start, is like, if you don't know exactly, how people see you or your true self, like ask your loved ones, ask your friends, like, hey, if you were to describe me, like, how do you describe me in like 3 words, right? Or like, what do you like most about me? Or what do you like listening to me talk about, and what do you value about me? And that's where you're going to find your value proposition for social media, people you don't yet know, or for, future clients, is by asking people around you how they see you. Whoa. Because you might not know.
That's deep. Wow. And it works.
Yeah. So I think that's where I start normally with agents, is like, let's figure out who you are. And then as deep and cheesy as it is, like, start with who you are. And then from there, we can build your social that way.
I love that. And I wanted to get another level, because I feel like a lot of people, like, they'll listen to this, but they won't take action. So anyone who's listening or watching, I want you to take action on this and ask your loved ones to give you 3 words that best describe who you are, whoever's listening right now. And then I want you to reach out to Hannah, Dan, or myself, and then send us a DM and be like, oh my God, I watched the show. This is the 3 takeaways. Okay. Or you can come back to this podcast episode, just comment below if that's the easiest for you. You have your wife next to you, or you're watching this with a loved one. Just ask them really quick and just comment below, because I want people to take things from this. And like, actually, like the event that I just went to, like, they didn't have you actually pull out your phone and like do stuff. It's like, let's do stuff instead of just listening and learning and like not doing the stuff. So that's a challenge for anyone who's listening and following right now. And now I'm going to change it up. Camera angles on you, Hannah. What do you want to give our viewers and listeners to take from today's episode that they can put in the comments, or they can apply to their business to have more success in the long run?
Ooh, I would say before you really focus on the real estate side of things, like really, again, focus on you as your brand, regardless of what that is, and know that it doesn't have to look like anybody else. It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to be super educational if you don't know what you're even talking about yet as a new agent. You know, you have to find what you can bring to the table, regardless of what that is. And some people aren't going to connect with you, and that's okay. Some people think I'm too funny. Some people think I'm not, I'm too unprofessional, whatever have you. That's cool. You're not my vibe, right? You're gonna be able to find those people. And if you are truly going that hardcore into yourself and your brand, then that real estate and all those clients and that kind of that tribe around you, that's going to grow into exactly what you need it to be. And then you're going to see your business thrive. So I don't know, maybe that was
boom. No, that was dope. That was dope. I love that. And your tribe obviously speaks for itself. If, you want to give validation and say, oh, well, let's see who she is, what she's about. Hannah's links down below. Give her a follow, watch her videos. You can see she's leading by example. But thanks so much, Hannah, for being on the show today. We really enjoyed today's episode. And this is action-packed, full of great information.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome.
Of course. Dan, as always, thanks for co-hosting.
Awesome.
Appreciate
I got some clips, so I'll share those as well. Great to meet you.
Heck yeah. And what the viewers and listeners don't know is like Dan and I behind the scenes are getting some like free mentorship and coaching ourselves as we have Hannah and all these amazing guests on. So now is your time to comment below with what you learned from today's episode. Take on that challenge. Ask your loved ones, what's 3 words that best subscribe you? Put it down below in the comments. That'd be the easiest way, I think, to do it. As it is our intention for you to take things from our episode, apply to your business, have more massive success, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching Real Estate vs. Technology, this week's brand new episode, and making it to the end, your real one. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified for new episodes that come out every single week on Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Also, if you comment on this episode and you like the episode, you'll help this episode get out to more individuals. And if you want to join our Facebook group page, just click a link. It's a Facebook icon on our profile page here on our YouTube channel. Join our group page, network with individuals all across the world, and share what technology you're using to grow your business. The next link is to join our Real Estate vs. Technology brand new IG or Instagram page. If you go on any of our stories, you can see who's going to be on Real Estate vs. Technology before it actually goes live on our YouTube channel. And the last link would be if you want to be on an episode of Real Estate vs. Technology. You pick a date and a time. We'll deep dive into your story and technology you're using to share that with other individuals that view our episodes weekly to inspire, enlighten, show up, and show out for people that love to watch these type of podcasts to have more success in their own business. Thank you so much for your continued support. We appreciate it. We will see you on the next one.